There can be many times throughout the day when I'm a little bit scattered in the mind, when I'm feeling emotionally disconnected or uncertain, or maybe my feelings are kind of running amok, and I need to just take a little bit of time to ground myself, to reconnect, to center. And so I'd like to show you a brief but really effective technique right now that utilizes some of the acupuncture or acupressure points around the eyes. Now, we're not going to be sticking needles in these points like an acupuncturist would, but we can use them with a little bit of pressure, acupressure. And these are the points in the system of traditional Chinese medicine where qi, or energy, that flows through our body comes to the surface. And modern medical science is learning more and more that this isn't simply woo-woo stuff, that there's a lot of physiological and neurobiological mechanisms behind this idea of qi and how energy flow in our body relates to our mind and our emotions. So let me leave that theory stuff aside and just get right down to the technique here. Find yourself relaxed, find yourself either sitting or standing comfortably, and come into a full deep breath, allowing your belly to really expand on the inhalation, and on the exhalation, allow your navel, your belly button, to draw in towards your spine. Gently, but still thoroughly emptying the last bits of air out of the bottom of your lungs. So come into this breath for a moment with me. Find some stillness. Seek to create some stillness. And then bring your index fingers to the inner point of the eye here. You'll actually find a little bit of divot in the bone. It's maybe about, I don't know, a quarter the size of a pencil eraser, maybe a little larger. There's kind of a little canyon there, a little shallow crater, if you will. And that's a point inside the bone where there's a lot going on. So put a little pressure there, maybe some gentle massage. And then move up to the inner corner of the eyebrows. Again, use your index fingers or your pinky fingers, whatever suits you best, in order to find this little indentation, this little divot in the bone. You might have to move around a bit to find it, and when you do, or if you don't worry, in the general area is just fine. Massage a little bit of gentle pressure. Now we move to the middle of the eyebrow. That one's a little easier to find for me. Breathing. Now to the outer edge of the eyebrow. Finally, the outer corner of the eye here, as we make our lap around the eye. I think you probably get the idea where we're going here. Making a circle, but slowly, in stages, taking each part of this process as its own small activity, even though they're combined as we move around the eye in this circle. Then finally, at the middle part of the lower eye socket here, there's another small canyon, divot, crater, whatever you like to call it. And when you hit it, notice how you feel. Notice if there's any change in the sensation of your breathing, in the state of your emotions, in your level of energy, or your level of agitation. And finally, back to the center corner of the eye here. A little bit of gentle massage. And you may even choose to then put the hands over the eyes for a moment. We say this is warming the eyes in the discipline of Qigong, which this is part of a Qigong closing sequence. And finally release and let yourself come back to center. This technique can also be utilized with one hand. For example, I will often do this at a recovery group meeting. I can put my elbow in my lap or on a chair arm and hit these points just with one hand, almost as if I'm in a contemplative place, rather than trying to use intentional techniques to massage out some stress and tension. And it's not simply a massage for the sake of feeling good. It's actually an opportunity to explore this deeper connection between breath and body and mind, and using these points that are well known for thousands of years to help stimulate and move qi in our body. I invite you to use this technique and see whether it lifts you up, whether it brings you down. Some days it might give you energy, some days it might calm down excessive energy, but it will shift the system. It will enable us to move to a state of balance in whatever way, and that's what's interesting about a lot of these techniques. In yoga and in other aspects of energy medicine, is that the body-mind seems to know which way it needs to go to find an even keel. And so if we're agitated and crazy and restless in the mind, this technique might draw us down a little more introspective, a little more centered. And if we're really down and feeling depressed and inward, low in energy, this technique could move us in the other direction and brighten our vision, expand our energy, and allow us to be a little bit more awake. So I invite you to use these techniques in your own way and shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you find. Please share these techniques with others as well, but I'd love to know how it's working in your life, what's happening, and what other techniques and questions you have, would like more information on. How can I serve you better today in your ongoing addiction recovery? Thanks for the opportunity to spend some time with you. Take this technique with you and use it as you like. Let me know what happens. Thanks.